All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Live Your Dreams podcast. I'm your host, Joe Gawalis, where we dive deep into the journeys of extraordinary individuals who have turned their dreams into reality. Today, we have a remarkable guest joining us. We have on Duyen is a truly remarkable, resilient individual whose career is phenomenal. Originally a host well known for hosting Paris by Night series, she is currently part of the amazing cast of The Sympathizer on HBO. Please welcome Duyen to the Live Your Dreams podcast. Thank you so much for coming on board. You really are an inspiration. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, hi, Joe, and hi, everyone listening to the podcast. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Oh, really? I mean, your story is fantastic. Everything that you've done in your career is fantastic. And now you're actually on such an amazing show on HBO, and you get to that point in your career, people say, "Wow, like you've made it." But so many people that are listening to our show are young, up and coming artists, entrepreneurs. When did your journey begin? When did you say to yourself, "I'd like to be," and I'm saying let's go back to the beginning. Did you get motivated at one part of your life when you said, "I want to go down this path of becoming an actress"?
Well, that moment probably started when I was 6 or 7. I remember that every time there's a family gathering, and let's say if we're watching some TV or some character on TV, and my mom would say, Duyen, go be that character. And I would be this ham in front of the family, acting out whatever the character is. And I was never shy about it. But that dream from when I was 6 years old took me until now. I'm 59 for me to
Sure.
actually realize it. So yeah, it's been a long time in the making.
It's so incredible to hear you say that because people don't realize people only see the surface level of our career path, right? They see the top 1%er who makes it when they're 18 years old, and they think, well, everybody makes it really quickly in this business, and I'll get discovered in a coffee shop. They don't realize it's a lifetime journey for most people to even get close to achieving their dreams.
Well, but for me, it's also a lot of luck. Just because acting, I come from an Asian family, so Vietnamese to be precise. And in our family and in my generation, it's not good to go into the arts. You got to get a career that makes some money.
Sure.
You gotta be safe. You gotta be a doctor, and failing to get into medical school, your next best thing is maybe a lawyer, which I was a lawyer.
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yep. Yep.
Yes, and then an engineer or something like that. So through my whole life, I've become a lawyer, which was what my mom wanted it. And looking back, I really thank her because it gives me the security to know that, oh, I
Mm,
can do other stuff. And if that didn't work out, I can always go back and kind of have a career, have something to do to make money, right?
sure.
And then it's college, it's law school, it's getting married, it's raising kids. I have 2 daughters, and now they're like all out of school. And now I feel like where I'm almost at the edge where I can retire, that I can now pursue my dreams, my
That's
my real dream. You know what I mean?
that's incredible.
Is
Sure.
my real dream. And I think I would like to tell those of you out there who wants to pursue your dream that it's not your age, it's not how much you're training, it's just to go for it. I'm really into, as I grow older, I'm really into manifestation and things like that,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
And people was telling me to manifest something. First of all, you got to believe in it, you got to talk about it, you got to think about it, and then take a step toward it. So I've
Sure.
always wanted to get into acting and be an actor, but it's all in my head. And I've taken a few acting class lesson here and there, but I've never taken any step toward it.
Sure.
And it's not until last year that I was, talking to my husband. So I really wanted to do that. Let's do it. And we were at a party, and he met a friend, Miss Kiu Ching, who's also in the Sympathizer,
Sure.
and she's a friend of my mom. She's like an aunt in my family. But
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but for some reason, I never thought of asking her, like, how do you get into Hollywood? So
Sure.
finally, I took that step, and then she introduced me to my agent, Powerhouse Image. And at that time, my agent said, we're not really sure yet, but let's just have a gentleman's agreement just on word alone. Okay, so I'm
Sure.
going to send you a few script, a few side. And the Sympathizer was the second side that I got. I didn't know how big it was. I am in the
Sure,
industry.
that's pretty good for your second one going in.
And then
That's
I had
great.
to go on YouTube and learn how to make audition tape. Just like today, we're setting up this
Yeah,
whole,
yeah.
this is my first time just doing it. And just looking from that YouTube, showing how to do it. And I just did it and I sent it in. And a month later, I got a call back to said that they want me to audition in front of the director. Now, at that time, I didn't know who the director was. I didn't know how big
Sure.
the project was. I was in Vietnam on another show. I was emceeing concerts in Vietnam at the time.
Sure. Okay.
And these are shows that are in front of 4,000 or 5,000 people. So it wasn't a little show. It's not something I could give up. So
Sure.
I was like, I'm not really sure about this. If they want me to come back to audition, send me a business class ticket and I'll come back. I was so, and then they said, no, they're going to do it over Zoom. So I did it over Zoom. And that's when I know it was Park Chang Wook. And I start
Yeah.
researching about him. And I'm like, oh my God.
Big opportunity. Absolutely. Yeah.
This is really big. And so I auditioned in front of it. I didn't think I did good because I did
Huh.
one take, and through his interpreter, he said, "Can you tell her to tone it down a little bit? This is film. This is not like some soap opera." So I'm thinking, oh
Uh-oh.
no, I'm
Yeah.
overdoing it. So I did what he said. He said, "Okay." So we did a few other slides, and then done. And then I thought I wouldn't hear back from them, if at all, for months. Right? That's
Oh
Hollywood.
yeah, 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 yeah.
An hour later, which was 1 a.m. in Vietnam at that time, my
Wow.
agent texted me and said, they said, you're it, subject to approval by HBO.
Sure,
And I
sure.
remember screaming and yelling. And so I'm saying it's a lot of luck. And I also realized that with Hollywood, they cast you if you look the role, first of all.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah,
You
absolutely.
look a role, and it doesn't matter if you have experience or not. Once they cast you, then of course it's based on your ability if they think you can act. But like I say, I didn't go through school, and on the Sympathizer, there were 3 or 4 of the main cast who'd never acted before,
Yes,
who's
that's
never
huge.
gone to school, who's never done anything in it. The person who plays my daughter, she was only 17, and going to school here, never had any acting before, but she got it. So I'm telling everyone who wants to pursue your dream, just to go for it. And that's the only thing you got to do. You got to want it and you got to go for it, and just don't let any other negative thing, you know, going. And I think I got it just because I was not stressed out, just because I thought, oh, this is only my second one. I expected to fail as
Sure. Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just going to do as many auditions as I can just to get experience. And I went with that frame of mind. And when we were talking to another cast member, he went in as a joke because he said there was a clause in there that says nudity required. So he just want to go for it as a joke so he can tell his friend, like, yeah, that's my butt you're going to see on screen, just something like that. And then we all got it because we were stressed out about it. Yeah.
That's such good advice, and I'm sure there's gonna be so many smiles listening to what you just said. And one, it's an amazing story, but two, the motivation that you're going to be giving our listeners. But you made such complete sense that when you go into a situation without the stress, without something hanging over you, you can feel it. And what's great about you is I felt your energy as soon as you came onto the Zoom. You can tell you carry yourself with a confidence and an aura around you. So
Wow.
that's very, very important. You can tell you're somebody you can tell you're confident in yourself. Now, did that come from actually pursuing law and being a host for time, or were you always like that, even as a young child? Because for so many people, it's very hard to kind of accept who they are.
Well, I think the acting or the entertainer in me have always been there. But of course, everything, you take your natural whatever God gives you, and then you have to hone in that skill. I think for 30 years of standing in front of the camera in various roles, whether as an MC, as a spokesperson for a brand, advertising, or I did I did do a film in Vietnam, not a Hollywood, but a Vietnamese film.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Well, I think that I'm quite comfortable in front of the camera. But I think also, like anything else, when I first started emceeing, my Vietnamese was actually, I think of my Vietnamese as my second language because I came here when I was 9 and a half,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
went through middle school here, high school here, and even in Vietnam, I was in an English program. So I never had Vietnamese. So to learn to speak fluent Vietnamese to do my MC, it's a whole other challenge.
I'm
And so
sure.
I think I've overcome that. That gives me a lot more confidence. And yeah, and I think if any other advice I could give for people who have stage fright is just to be yourself. Imagine that you're just in your living room, like right now talking to you. I'm not thinking about how many people are going to be watching this. It's just you and I here having a private conversation. And if you take that and carry it on to a bigger stage, whether you're in front of an audience or a room or in front of your coworker, it works the same. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. That's such great advice to say, especially for actors that are breaking in or anybody that's speaking or anything in public, to make sure that you're not minding what's going on around you because it's so easy to get caught up. And if you think about that, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to get nervous if all of a sudden, when you were emceeing and you start looking at each individual 5,000 person out there, it's going to be a little overwhelming at that point. So that's great advice to give right there.
Well, it's just like when I first met Robert Downey Jr.,
I'm,
right?
I'm sure that's a moment,
And
right?
I'm like, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. But I find that, I could be flustered with him, outside. I don't even dare to come up to him to ask for a picture. I'm like hiding in the background. But then the minute the director calls action and I'm in the scene, I forgot that he's Robert Downey Jr. He's
That's
just
great.
Claude. He's just whoever I'm in the scene with. And I almost think that he and I are on the same par, if that is possible,
No, that's great. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
In the movie it is. Yeah. So I think just the ability to just be in the moment. Yeah.
How did not only yourself, if you could speak for any of your castmates, having people like Robert Downey Jr. around, Sandra Oh, you have great. These are major actors that have been around with accolades. It must have been an incredible experience to say, like you said, now you're on par with these people. Your characters are in the same realm. That must have been an incredible experience for the first time.
Well, just watching them, and also, I've always wanted to learn to do a lot of things in life,
Sure.
not to be good at it, but just learn enough so you can appreciate when you see really people being really good at it. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
I play the piano, I can't play to save my soul, but I really appreciate good pianists now, so it's
Sure.
the same thing as I'm just getting into acting and the craft of it and watching Sandra Oh and Robert Downey Jr. is like a master class. Yet
Sure.
you get to sit there and watch them. But I think the most important things I've learned from both of them and the fundamental which I value more than acting skill or anything is just how to be a star when you
Hmm.
are that high up.
Yes.
So super nice. So when you're around them, you have a feeling that they want to help. They want to lift the whole cast up. They want to make everyone good. I think because they're so confident and they're so self-assured of
Sure.
their place that you don't feel them out there like trying to get you or put you down, but as a matter of fact, trying to lift everyone up. They're just so nice, so genuine, so down to earth. Robert Downey Jr., when I talk to him, and when everyone talk to them, you have a feeling that they're giving you 100% of their attention.
Mm.
They're listening to you, that they're really advising you, that especially Sandra, like the sweetest, just little things, of course, like, so for example, when they were introducing us to walk on stage or something, and I guess just happened by name or by something,
Sure.
came out first, and then with my sitting, I'm like in the center of the stage, but I'm like, no, Sandra, like you go first, like I want to be on.
For sure. Yeah.
They call you first, you go. And she would always take the last seat or the
Wow.
last place, because I noticed, when everyone's taking group picture, we're always pulling her in the middle. She's no, 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 so it's like I have my place, so now I would like other newcomer to have their place. Is that
Yes.
sense? And that is so great. I'm of course in Hollywood. I'm not anything yet, but I think before I make it big, I have to learn to be what it is as a human being before you are given that role. And I think that's what I take away from this whole experience above all else that I treasure.
That is so beautifully put, because if people all treated each other that way with that amount of respect, and you're encouraging people to come and break into the business, and you're almost mentoring people
Yes,
to do
yes,
that, Hollywood will change. The reputation that sometimes isn't the best will go away, because there are so many good people in the arts and in this field. And it's
yes.
so great that you found them, and obviously they came together to work on this piece together. That must be an incredible set to be on, around that kind of energy and mentorship.
Yeah, I mean, of course, this is my first foray into Hollywood, but from what I've talked to from the hair and makeup people that they've been
Yes.
around in a lot of production, they said to have something that we have is rare. That it's not automatically like that. And I'm thinking, oh no, does that mean that everything is going downhill from now on? My first experience is so good, from the cast to the set to the director to how everything is run, the professionality, how everything is on time. It's just, yeah.
No, that's so beautiful, because again, especially the crew, if the crew is miserable, it's usually a miserable set, right? And to see that they're enjoying themselves there, and they said that to you, says so much about this fantastic
Yeah.
production. I mean, that's incredible that you can get a show of this caliber where people are still really all, championing each other. That's amazing. That's so, motivating to hear.
Yeah. Yes.
It's fantastic. Now, you said it. When you start breaking into the business more and more, you're coming in from a person with the right attitude. What do you see next on your horizons? Again, obviously the show's going on. It's fantastic. What do you see kind of next? What direction you kind of want to see your career going in now, if you had that choice?
Definitely, I want to go into acting full time.
Okay.
But here's the thing: at my age, because I'm kind of like semi-retirement, and I've got income coming in from businesses that I've invested in.
Sure.
So at this time in my career, acting for me is just for the pure joy of it. It's not even for the money, since I have enough to make a living.
Sure. Sure.
It's not even for the fame, since for my limited experience just within Vietnam and the Vietnamese community all over the world, I am, uh, I guess, I am sort of a celebrity in the Vietnamese world, and
Sure.
I've
Sure. Yeah.
I've had a bit of taste of what it's like. And to tell you the truth, so far I don't like the celebrity part of it. I don't like
Sure.
out on the street and having people recognize and not having your freedom. I don't like to wake up and have to put on makeup every day.
Every day, right? Yep. Yeah.
That side of it, I don't care for. So I love it that I can just the pure joy of acting. I love to take on any role, a small role, a big role, a villain, an ugly role. I don't have to have a leading role. And I think to approach it without any pressure, without
Mm.
a need to make it anywhere, but just to enjoy being in. Because after I did the Sympathizer, from what I heard over people talking that it cost over more than 100 million, but of
That's
course
very big. Yes.
not from anything official. And then after that, I have this young girl who was just a student out of a film, and she reached out to me, 20 something, and I wanted to help her out. And she had this short film, whole budget was 30,000. Okay.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But I find that I still have almost the same joy in front of the camera.
That's beautiful.
What I
That's
mean?
beautiful.
It's when the camera set roll, it's almost just as fun. So therefore, I think now it's a good time for me to pursue. And then of course I went on the YouTube and saw all these things about child actors who later on became famous and they can't handle the. So I
Yes.
think I passed that age. I won't have that problem. I won't have the problem of handling the fame or the money. I think it's just every day, just happy if I land any role. And yeah, that's going forward for me.
No, no, that's so important, and the fact that you were able to work on that film with that student says so much about you because you know you don't know how much it probably meant to that individual. I mean, one obviously you're an amazing actress, but it means so much to somebody that's rising in the ranks to have somebody that's on a real show like The Sympathizer come onto their project. That makes such a. I mean, you could have changed this individual's career for the rest of their lives, really, by taking part of that. That shows what kind of person you are. That's fantastic.
Well, like I say, I'm trying to emulate Sandra Oh. When I asked her
That's
for
great. Yeah.
advice for stuff, she was so open and so ready to give me, whatever, So yeah, I guess just paying it forward if I can.
No, no, that's beautiful. Talk about paying it forward. How did your children and your family react to this now? I mean, right? You say you're going to be going for acting. You're talking about you're going to go pursue this, and who knows? I said, well, let's see how mom does. Maybe she'll do all right. You never know. Second audition out of the bank. You're doing an HBO show. That has to be quite incredible for your family around you.
Well, I just remember my girls when they were watching first time, on television, and the scene with Robert Downey Jr. came in, and I was in there. My daughter, she was just going, wow. She looked at me, she goes, "This is so real. This is so real. Like, your mom, you just cooked us dinner. We just had dinner, and here you are." But they're both grown up. One is 26, one is 28, and they're
Sure.
all busy with their career. And mom has always been mom, and I think they're used to it, even from my days of as an MC or in the Vietnamese
Yes.
community. So yeah, they're quite used to it. Yeah.
And it goes into the Vietnamese community. How have they responded to the sympathizer, which is going on? I mean, this is a major thing that's happening, and the world's really getting to see what's been going on over there. How are they responding to your involvement in a show like this? Have you had fans reach out to you that you had when you were doing your emceeing in Vietnam reach out to you?
Well, I haven't gone back to Vietnam since.
Sure.
Yeah, all my friends, of the Vietnamese community in America, I think we're just so proud.
That's
I mean,
great.
it's the first time when I'm driving down the freeway and I keep seeing billboards and
Yes.
advertisement, and to have a cast of Vietnamese actors doing Vietnamese role. And I mean, this is just amazing for our whole Vietnamese community, just to uh, I I don't think other Asian community, and you can correct me, you're talking about I don't know if the Chinese, the Korean, the Japanese have had this kind of Hollywood production behind them. I know that I've seen a lot of Japanese or Korean made series that are,
Sure. Sure.
but all with Japanese actors or Korean, but to have a mishmash of Hollywood and like that. It's sometimes just one or two actors, but not a whole cast, not a
Sure.
whole storyline, not a whole Korean storyline, or this is the first, and I'm so proud. And I was just reading, yeah, either Rolling Stone or Time, giving Hua Sundae, which is the main character, shout out about how good he is, and to see on the billboard, to see him being front and center, and then Robert Downey Jr. a little bit behind, and then
Sure.
Sandra Oh a little bit behind. That is just amazing, because most of the time in Hollywood, if you see an Asian guy, he's either a professor or nerd or some
Yeah.
funny
Yeah. Yeah.
guy, right? And if you see a girl, especially Vietnamese role, either you're an old woman, or if you're in a war movie, you're a bar girl or something like that,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Very typical.
it's just amazing for all of our communities.
No, it's really truly inspiring what a piece like this is going to do, like you said, for an entire community. And it
Yeah.
says so much. Again, somebody like Sandra Oh, Robert Downey Jr., especially Robert Downey Jr., yeah, obviously he's behind the scenes as well with a
Yeah.
project like this. He has a lot of passion behind it. It's so great that you have somebody championing this for an entire community out there. That must be incredible for everybody. It shows the type of characters they are. It's fantastic that HBO and them have gotten behind this story.
Yes, yes. And I think that of course, being in the business, I think Robert Downey Jr. He has the foresight, because I remember we have a lunch before we even start taping,
Sure.
and I'm like, wow, we're so lucky that HBO and everyone's taking on this project. And Robert Downey Jr. looked at me and said, "No, they are lucky that
I
we're
love that. That's
project for
great.
them." So he really believed in it. Yeah.
No, that's so good. When you have somebody like that behind a project, obviously, look, I mean, when you watch an episode and you see what's going on, even if somebody can go online right now and see the trailer, the
Yeah.
level of quality that's behind it and passion in every single aspect, from set design, costuming, hair and makeup to the acting, everything, camera angles is beautiful. I mean, literally, you're transported watching this show.
I was watching it and I was telling my family that, well, this could be 7 movies. It's not, it doesn't
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, it could.
just like a TV show. It very cinematic. It's like, and then we watched the premiere on the big screen, of course, with the Adobe sound system,
That must have
especially
been great. Yeah.
the first episode with the fire. It's exactly, it films like a movie. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so beautiful how HBO are doing shows like that now, where you feel like you're watching movie after movie after movie. And again, nothing knocking TV in the 50s and 60s, but you're not having your standard three camera studio shoot anymore. This is
Right.
you're literally watching movie after movie. It's fantastic. Everything they're doing is so
Right.
beautiful over there. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like I say, they said, how do I feel about being on the set? And I said I have never won the lottery, but I think this is close. This is very close to winning the lottery for me.
No, no, you are absolutely right for somebody breaking into the business. It's really fantastic. I mean, you are really truly an
Yeah.
inspiring individual. You can tell that you care so much about what you're doing. And what I love is that you want to help others that are coming into the business after you now. That's just so much about you. It's really truly inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. If what my life has stood for, my life lesson that I've learned thus far is, first of all, really pursue your passion, but don't just dream about it. Take some step towards it, whether it's taking a class or, like myself, getting an agent, and then don't sweat about it. Don't think about it anymore. Just kind of know that the universe has your back, and then just don't worry too much about it, and you'll be amazed to see the things that are unfolding. And sometimes, you pray, but God or the universe will give you so much more than what to pray for. If I were to pray, I'm like, oh, please, give me a job in a movie, but no movie is going to be as good as this.
Yeah, yeah.
So just kind of leave it open and just know that pursue your passion, take a step forward, and don't sweat about it, and everything will be taken care of.
That is so beautifully put. I know our fans are going to adore this episode. If anybody wants to follow you, do you have social medias or anything that people can look up, or
Yes,
maybe
yes, yes.
Instagram or Facebook? I'd love to share it with the fans if you don't mind.
Sure, sure. Well, my Instagram is Kizwin, and
Okay.
then Nguyen is my last name. My Facebook, now see, in Vietnamese, the last name goes first, first name go last.
Yes. Yep.
So my Facebook name is Nguyen Cao Ki. That's my father's name, Nguyen Cao Ki. And then my name is Duyen, Nguyen Cao Ki Duyen. And maybe for the older generation, they might know Nguyen Cao Ki, my father, because he used to be the prime minister, the air marshal,
Yes.
and the vice president of South Vietnam. So that's how I got my name, if you want to remember my name.
That's beautiful. I mean, really, the legacy your family has left, plus everything you've added to it, you must bring so much pride to everybody, to have so much pride yourself. It's beautiful, the person you are. It's fantastic. Really, you are an incredible individual.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We'll be sure to have all the links below to your social medias and all of this. We should be coming out, I would say, probably within a week or two. We'll have your episode cut up and ready to go to do any little edits. We'll let you know as soon as it's coming out. We'll talk to your publicist and we'll get it right over to you. And we're very proud of it. Anything we can do to promote anything you're working on, our show will be more than happy to do that, because really it's just to share anything you're doing is give me so much pride, because really it's fantastic. The person, not only the actress, but the person you are is fantastic.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. Now
No,
it's encouraging for me to go out and do it.